I say I'm shooting shots straight to the point just like the podcast. Other teams they run into my shooters cause we got that. I killed the game and left the court with no condolence. I'm still gonna shoot my shot no matter how big the moment is. She ain't like when Bess get on that phone. Yeah. You watch it from the TVs in your homes. Yeah. They finna like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yeah.
Yo, it's your boy Bess, your boy Rell, and your boy Jerrick, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 4, episode 22. Y'all, in today's episode, not only are we talking NFL, but we're also talking about the NBA, okay? But first in the NFL, the Patriots. A lot of people have been talking about their easy path to the Super Bowl, so we're going to break that down for y'all. Then Sam Darnold, is he off fraud alert? And then following that, Bill Belichick got a big snub from being first ballot Hall of Famer. Then the NBA, we're going to talk about Giannis and where he should end up. Talk about the Rockets, the Lakers, and end this episode with our most surprising team thus far. Before we get into any of that, as always, I want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. Without him, we would not be here right now. Fellas, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
We ready.
All right, man. First off, in the NFL, all right, the Patriots did end up beating the Broncos 10-7, going to the Super Bowl, but it's been a lot of chatter. Been a lot of people popping their chops about how the Super Bowl path is way too easy for the Patriots, trying to diminish their Super Bowl appearance. All right, but Rell, what's your reaction to this? Does the Patriots' easy path water down their Super Bowl appearance?
No, sir. And I wouldn't even say they had the easy path.
Easy path, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say they had an easy path. When you go back down the path, you see they had to play the Chargers, the Texans, then they had to play the Broncos. You go all the way back, the Chargers have Justin Herbert. The Texans have C.J. Stroud and the best defense we've seen in the 2020 decade. And then they played the Broncos in Denver, regardless if they had Bo Nix or not. He had to go win that game. And so, and all of these teams, like J. Bess said last week and the week before that, all of these teams are top 10 defenses. These aren't just like some average or below terrible defenses. He had to go win these games, and he had to play great to win these games. But to answer the second part of your question, though, I feel like this is the easiest path he'll ever have, though. For sure. I think next year and the year after that, it'll just continue to get harder and harder and harder. And hey, we'll just have to see. But I think it'll still be a great Super Bowl. Seahawks versus Patriots. I think it'll be a great Super Bowl.
All right, Jerrick, does the Patriots' easy path water down the Super Bowl appearance?
Not at all. And by what is people's definition of an easy path? You said this before because we know you're the Drake May guy, you're the Drake May fanatic, you conduct the Drake May train. So you talked before about how this whole entire playoff run, he's gone against 3 top 6 defenses in the league. What is easy about that? I don't understand, honestly. It's not the Patriots' fault that that CJ Stroud went out there and played terrible. It's not, but you also have to give credit to the Patriots for that. They inspired that to happen. They allowed that to happen because of the pressure they were getting to him. They shut down the Chargers by getting pressure on that offensive line that was beat up. I mean, yeah, it was beat up, but hey, at the end of the day, these are still playoff teams. They beat teams that all had 10-plus wins this year. That's great. That is great. Now, yes, of course, we have to mention that Bo Nix did get hurt, and that plays a complete different role in this game. But I text you the day of the game, and I said whoever was winning whenever it started snowing like that, they were going to win this game. And it was as simple as that because no more points were able to be put up because of the conditions, because both teams can't really run the ball very well, and you don't really want to be throwing the ball a lot whenever it's snowing like that. So you're not really going to be able to make things happen, and both teams have pretty good defenses. So even if Bo Nix was playing, if the Patriots were up 10-7 when the conditions got like that, the Patriots were still going to win that game. It's not easy to win 3 games and go to the Super Bowl at all. It never will be. And that's just something that I would say for people to just diminish what this team has done, what this young team has done. Mind you, we're saying it's like we're moving the goalposts for this team because last year this team what was their record last year?
4 wins.
They had 4 wins last
13.
year. They were 4-13 last year. Their head coach got fired. Their starting quarterback week 1 last year was Jacoby Brissett. They weren't confident enough in this team to start Drake May in week 1 of last year. That's how bad this team was last year. They finally put Drake May in. He made some things happen. They said, okay, we're going to allow him to just play it out. It was never a question about is he better than Jacoby Brissett. It was they didn't want to allow what happened to David Carr in Houston whenever his offensive line was so bad that he got killed, and that killed his whole entire NFL career, killed his confidence, killed everything. They didn't want that to happen. So for your team to go from 4 wins with Jacoby Brissett starting week 1, Gerard Mayo as your head coach. Now, mind you, I didn't agree with the hire. I didn't agree with the firing either because of how bad the team was, but it makes sense. You fired him because you got a guy at Mike Vrabel. So I 100% am okay with that now. You fired your head coach. You were 4 wins last year. Your starting quarterback is Jacoby Brissett. This year you have Mike Vrabel, you have Drake May, and you still have the same guys from that team. This team isn't a lot different from that team last year. It's not. Trevion Henderson, Stephon Diggs. Other than that, this offense is the same offense. Being quite honest, I mean, actually, well, Will Campbell, he was their first-round pick this year, but Will Campbell, we've been seeing him. He's been getting dogged in the playoffs. Let's be quite honest. He's been getting worked in the playoffs. So those are the 3 additions to that offense. The defense is almost the same. I want to say they added Carlton Davis in the offseason. They added some other guys.
Yeah.
They didn't add no superstars to this team. They did not add no superstars to this team. And this team went from 4 wins to a Super Bowl appearance. So I don't want to hear about easy path or anything. The last time the Patriots went to the Super Bowl, they had to go against the Chargers and the Chiefs because they had a first-round bye. They played 2 games, went against the Chargers, who I would say that Chargers team in 2018, hey, I don't even know who was on that Chargers team. And I'm not going to say that Chargers team was a lot better if they were better than this Chargers team. We're not going to say that. And, of course, yes, they had to play the Chiefs being Patrick Mahomes, young Patrick Mahomes, his first time in the AFC Championship. But on top of that, when you look at it, they still played 2 more games than that Patriots team did then. And those 2 games were against elite defenses. So I don't want to hear nothing about an easy, watered-down path. I don't want to hear nothing about that. They made it to the Super Bowl as the hardest thing to do in pro sports, and we need to give them their flowers for doing that.
And so Jared brought the Patriots, and I'm glad you did. But I think you brought up the wrong year. Okay, because the year that I want to bring up, this is the 2017 season going into 2018. So the playoffs were in 2018. Tom Brady had the first round bye, correct? Second round, he played Marcus Mariota, okay, in the Tennessee Titans, right? Then the conference championship, he played Blake Bortles, okay? Then went on to the Super Bowl and played Nick Foles, who's a backup quarterback, but lost to him. So if Tom Brady would have won against Nick Foles, would we have said that was an easy path? Because you played bottom tier quarterbacks and then you mess around and you played a backup quarterback in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady didn't win the game. It wasn't Tom Brady's fault by any means. He lost 41-33. I mean, you let Nick Foles put up 41 points. It's not Tom Brady's fault. But moral of the story is, it's not the first time in history where we've seen a quarterback go through the playoffs and kind of play mid quarterbacks. But guess what? These are playoff teams. Marcus Mariota took that team to the playoffs. Blake Bortles took that team to the playoffs. This year, C.J. Stroud took this team to the playoffs. Justin Herbert took this team to the playoffs. I get it. It's the conference championship, no doubt about it. It was a big chunk of that outcome because Bo Nix didn't play 100%. Like that's with anybody, right? If anybody would have played the Broncos, I'll be sitting here telling you that, yeah, if Bo Nix played, they would have had a chance to win. A bigger chance to win than they did with Jarrett Stidham. I mean, come on. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that. But you cannot diminish a team for getting to the Super Bowl. This team, going into this season, nobody thought they would make the playoffs, let alone win the division. Now, I told y'all, I said, look, they either going to be 1 game out the playoffs or it might be a 7 seed. Maybe. But regardless, I would have came on the show and said they're going to lose first round if my prediction was correct. But this team won 14 games. This team won a division with Josh Allen in it, right? A top 5 quarterback, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They won that division. And then went on to the playoffs and got to the Super Bowl. You cannot diminish this team. You cannot look at this team like they're nothing going into this year. Then when they get to the big dance, say, oh, they had an easy schedule. You didn't think this team was good to begin with. If the Las Vegas Raiders played this year, had an easy schedule, and made it to the Super Bowl, I told y'all the Raiders going to be buns this year. I would not sit here and say they had an easy path. I would give them the flowers and say, oh, y'all over-exceeded expectations by miles, right? So this ain't about me being a Drake May guy. It's just in general. Like, you cannot diminish a team for getting to the Super Bowl. It is not easy, period. It's not. We're going to diminish Drake May for getting there, but we also diminish Lamar and Josh Allen for not getting there. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You can't do that. You can't punish a quarterback for getting there and then punish quarterbacks for not getting there. What do y'all want? What y'all want to see is what everybody wants to see is you go through a gauntlet, you put up 300 yards a game, with 3 touchdowns a game, then get to the Super Bowl and put up a great, like, everybody wants to see these over dramatic numbers, and it's not going to happen. Because if Drake May would have played Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, but played the way he did, everybody say he played so mid, they still would have diminished him. They still would have said, Drake May, you ain't do nothing to get to the Super Bowl. So we live in a world where, look, they just gone, nobody can give you credit. Period, point blank. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl MVP for crying out loud. People saying he's not top 10. Make it make sense. People literally will say Justin Herbert is better than Jalen Hurts. To your face, they will say that. Like this is the world we live in, y'all. This is how it's gonna be, and it's unfortunate, but they definitely deserve all the credit for getting to the Super Bowl. All right. Now, on the other side, Seahawks did beat the Rams. Now while he's sitting there doing all that head bobbing, he did pick the Rams as well. So I don't know what he's trying to
I
say.
did. That's okay. I did pick the Rams.
You're
That's
right. You
okay.
did.
But only one person on this podcast believed in Sam Darnold. Tell y'all that. Tell y'all that.
That is very true. But since speaking of Sam Darnold, this is about Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold off the fraud list? Rell, going into the playoffs, I said the Seahawks were the most fraudulent number 1 seed ever. I said that, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I said it. There's no hiding from it. Rell, is Sam Darnold officially off of the fraud list? The fraud alert, sorry.
No, sir. I can't take him off the fraud alert at all. I just can't. And I'm the realist. Like, I call it as I see it. If he wins in the Super Bowl, I would say Sam Darnold is him. Like, he's off fraud alert. He could lead a team to a Super Bowl, obviously. But nah, I just hear this one saying from J Bess, and it's the stripes on the zebra don't change. And in big games, Sam Darnold I know he just does not come to play. And I just want to shout out Sam Darnold first of all, because last week we said he didn't have to do a lot. The San Francisco game, he didn't have to do a lot. Like, I want to say he threw the ball 17 times. The run game was going, so he didn't have to do a lot. Clint Kubiak and Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet won in that game. But moving on to this week, this guy went head-to-head with Matthew Stafford and played better than Matthew Stafford. Like, every time Sam Darnold dropped back, I was just like, I'm in shock face because I'm thinking every throw is going to be a pick, but he's just dotting. He's dotting the Rams defense. And this past game, he had 36 attempts, and that was just crazy. So, yeah. But one thing I got to say about Sam Darnold is you played against the 49ers defense. The 49ers defense is terrible. It's a division game. You had to play that team 3 times. Hey, GG's. It's a good game. Good game. Tough earned win. Moving on. You played the Rams defense. 3rd time you played that team. It's going to be a hard game. The Rams have a terrible defense. Moving on to the Super Bowl, though, you're going against a top 10 defense. They're a top 10 everywhere. You have to actually play your ass off. You have to actually play good this game. It's a Super Bowl. The lights are brighter than ever. Like, they're bright. They're bright, bright, bright. You've never been in a game like this. What college did Sam Darnold go to?
USC.
Oh, yeah, USC.
You've never been in a game this big. Never, ever, ever. So I'm telling you guys for a fact, and I've been doing my research on all this. Sam Darnold all season, he hasn't went more than 3 games. Like, he hasn't went more than 3 games without throwing a pick. These past 3 games, he's went 3 games perfect. I know for a fact he's throwing a pick. And look, this is Sam Darnold's best year, I think. If this is how it is this year, imagine how it was all the other years. Like, he definitely ain't went more than 3 games without throwing a pick. You know what I'm saying? Sam seeing Ghost Darnold, I'm telling you guys, please, 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 before you get to betting on the Seahawks are the better team on paper. But before you get to betting on them, do you trust Sam Darnold? Like, on Super Bowl Sunday, if you see Sam Darnold throw 3 picks, what are you going to do? But that's all I had to say. But no, he's not off fraud alert. But if he wins on Sunday, I will give him his props.
All right. So, Rell, I see where you at, Rell, and I'm going to help you out whenever I go. I'm going to help you out. Jared, talk to us. Is Sam Darnold off fraud alert?
He has to be. He has to be. Y'all can't keep moving the goalposts for the brother. Rell just brought up how they played the San Francisco 49ers defense, played the Rams defense. I don't want to hear it. We just had a topic about diminishing people from making the Super Bowl. We just had that topic. None of y'all thought if before the season I told y'all Sam Darnold would have took the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl, I thought I was crazy.
Facts. Forget that. If you would have said they would have made the playoffs, I would have thought you was crazy.
You're right. And I will agree. Before the season, I don't know if y'all remember this, one of our episodes, my hot take was that Jalen Milroe would be starting by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That is how we viewed Sam Darnold.
Facts.
This man went from the Jets to the Panthers to the 49ers to the Vikings, where he finally had a good year. He actually had a better regular season last year than he had this year. And then he went to the Seahawks. And we all clowned the Seahawks for giving him that money, for giving him that contract. We said, what are y'all doing? This is not your franchise quarterback. Seahawks fans thought they just had their quarterback now. We thought it was going to be an epic failure. They got the number 1 seed. We then said this is the most fraudulent number 1 seed of all time. They then went out there and beat the San Francisco 49ers. And you're right, Sam Darnold didn't have to do much that game. But the very next week, Sam Darnold went out there, went 25 for 36, 346 passing yards, and 3 passing touchdowns with no interceptions. 0. Sam Darnold outplayed Matthew Stafford. And when you look at it, Matthew Stafford, like the Seahawks defense, they're great. They're really, really good. But this game was won by Sam Darnold being good. And then we can say the muff punt. We can talk about that. But this game was, for the Seahawks side, it was won by Sam Darnold's ability. Y'all were watching the game. He stood in the pocket twice, pressure in his face, and delivered a great pass for a touchdown. That one, I don't know what his name is, Bobo. He stood in the pocket, pressure in his face, and threw a dot. The play to JSN, perfect, beautiful play call, by the way. Like Clint Kubiak, beautiful play call. Put JSN H-back, have him run.
That was a Madden play.
That's a Madden play. You're right. That is a Madden play. It works. It works on Madden, and it works in real life. Great play call. He was wide open, but Sam was still under some duress. Sam Darnold looked in the eyes of his ghost and his demons and said, I'm over that. I'm past that. Y'all can't faze me anymore. Literally, Rell kept saying, don't worry about it. Interception coming up. Interception coming up.
He did.
He threw no interceptions. This man went out there, outplayed Matthew Stafford, who might win MVP this year, and took his team to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold is the same guy who is the second pick in the 2018 draft, the draft class of Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. 2 of those guys have MVPs. None of them have made the Super Bowl, but Sam Darnold has. So if we're going to say if Sam Darnold isn't on fraud alert, that means we need to go put Baker Mayfield on fraud alert. We need to go put Josh Allen on fraud alert. And we need to go put Lamar Jackson on fraud alert. Because whenever they were in the big moments, they didn't put up a performance like Sam Darnold just did to get their team to where they need to be. Josh Allen, we just watched that man turn the ball over 4 times, and now his team's at home. Lamar Jackson, we talk about his playoff struggles. Sam Darnold went out there, 25 for 36, 346 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. I don't want to hear nothing else about him being on fraud alert. I don't want to hear it. And I think that he's going to carry this over. He won't have as great of a game in the Super Bowl, but I think he might throw an interception in the Super Bowl. He might, but it won't be a disastrous performance like we've seen in the past. That is behind Sam Darnold. I'm not going to say that going forward he's going to be this quarterback that gets into top 5 conversations. No, I'm not going to say that. But I think that Sam Darnold has proven that he's a solid enough quarterback and that he will be this franchise's QB. They're set up. They have a defense. They have the weapons on offense. Cooper Kupp is their oldest guy on offense. All you got to do is replace Cooper Kupp. Rashid Shaheed's young. JSN's young. Kenneth Walker can stay healthy, this team, this is the team that Sam Darnold needs to be in. He's in a great situation that supports him not only offensively, because last year we talked about how he's in Minnesota. He had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. He had a great offense. His defense wasn't really that good. He had a good head coach, but this year he has a great defense. He has a good head coach, a great offensive play caller, and he has the pieces around him for him to be successful. So yes, Sam Darnold is on fraud alert. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Okay. I hear both of y'all. And I'm in the middle. But he's still on fraud alert. He's still on fraud alert, but hear me out. 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 Okay? Hear me out. There's only 2 quarterbacks in history with back-to-back 14-win seasons. Okay? One is Thomas Brady, and one is Sam Darnold. Okay? So Sam Darnold over a 2-year stretch has done something that no other quarterback has done outside of Tom Brady. I will give him credit for that. Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl. I just got finished defending Drake May and the Patriots. I'm not going to sit here and water down his Super Bowl appearance. Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl. Period. There's nothing y'all can take away from that man. But I'm going to ask y'all this question, and this is real. This is where I think you're gonna see me eye to eye. Would y'all be shocked if Sam Darnold go out there and throw 3 interceptions and no touchdowns? Would y'all be shocked? Rell, yes or no? Would you be completely shocked if Sam Darnold three interceptions?
Hell no, I know it's gonna happen.
Okay, Jared, would you be shocked if Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl?
I wouldn't.
What?
I wouldn't, but I okay, I'm 50-50 on it. I can't give you a strict yes or no because I'm gonna say I wouldn't be shocked because of y'all like to say a stripes on a zebra don't change.
Yep.
That's been his past. We've known in the big moments that's how he's been. But I would be shocked because in his biggest moments lately, he's rose to the occasion. His biggest moment to date was the NFC Championship, and he rose to the occasion. The way he's playing right now, coming off of this hot game like this, coming off and taking care of the ball, I couldn't see him throwing 3. I just couldn't. Like, throwing 3 interceptions, I just couldn't see him go out there and throw 3 Stevies. I just can't because of how well he's been playing lately. I just can't.
Okay, so I will accept that, but at least you see where I'm going with this. If Sam Darnold was to go out there and wet the bed on Sunday, we would not be shocked, which is why he kind of has to stay on fraud alert. Now, how do you get off of fraud alert is if Sam Darnold goes into the Super Bowl and play a good game, lose or win. I don't care if he lose or win it, play a good game, Sam, and you are off of fraud alert. But if you get there and completely wet the bed, like 1 interception, okay, cool, right? But if you go out there and throw 3 interceptions or 2 interceptions and like you're just off the entire game and you have a little meltdown like we've seen in the past, then I'm gonna say, hey, that's Sam. That's Sam Darnold, right? But I have to give him his credit, man. Sam Darnold last week, if you would have told me that, like, I thought that game would have been either the Seahawks do to them what they did to the 49ers, because Seahawks defense is so good, they just smothered Matthew Stafford to them and Sam Darnold ain't gotta do nothing, right? Or Matthew Stafford just turns the ball over so much, and then Sam Darnold kind of gets the W, or the Rams win. There was no outcome where I thought, you know what, Sam Darnold might win a shootout against Matthew Stafford. I did not think that would happen, but it did. Like, the numbers do not lie. That man, like Jerrick said, went 25-36, 346, 3 touchdowns. He did what we're waiting on Lamar to do in the big game. He did what we've seen Josh do in the big game, but he didn't win it, but we're waiting on him to do it again, right? We were waiting on, well, Baker Mayfield really not, come on, it's Baker Mayfield. Like, let's be real. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that we're waiting to see this from. Justin Herbert, when are you going to do this in a playoff game? Right? CJ Stroud, when are you going to do this in a playoff game? It's a lot of QBs that we are waiting on you to have a moment like this, and Sam Darnold did it, right? And kind of goes to what I've been saying about, like, Bryce Young and these guys that are drafted from college. Everybody don't just come in the NFL and just right away, instantly ball out, right? Some people now, Sam Darnold, this has been a long time since he was drafted, right? And he finally came around the way, but maybe a lot of that has to do with the fact that he went to the Jets. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Jets is a very poor organization. Maybe no quarterback can thrive in New York. Because when's the last quarterback we've seen thrive in New York? I can't even think of it. Maybe Mark Sanchez, maybe.
Maybe
Who?
we're
Wait, talk to me, Rell. What you mean?
we're only gonna say Mark Sanchez because they made that AFC Championship.
That's
But
what I'm
I'm
saying.
pretty sure his defense had to be like great that year. But other than that, the only other guy we can think of is Joe Namath, and that was back before we were thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Mark Sanchez, he was just like a Jay Cutler type of quarterback.
But fumble.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you're saying, though, Jay Bess. Like, Mark Sanchez is the best quarterback they ever had.
Since before, like, after Joe Namath, like, I think Mark Sanchez is who we would point our finger to. Like, oh well, that's who they got, right? So maybe that franchise is just so bad that no quarterback can thrive in that organization, right? So now Sam finally found a team that believed in him and gave him a bag and said, "Hey, you're our guy," and he over-exceeded expectations. So I'm giving him all the credit in the world. But like I said, if he goes in the Super Bowl and wet the bed, I would not be shocked, which is why I think he's still on fraud alert.
Okay, so I want you to answer me this: if he is still on fraud alert, if he's still on fraud alert, is Lamar Jackson on fraud alert?
I say this all the time. He's a terrible. He does not come to play in the big games, but he's the greatest regular season quarterback ever.
So in the playoffs, he's fraud.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud. All caps. All big games. Period. Not even big games, bro. Regular season games, big games, bro. He's fraud. All caps.
I can respect that.
Yeah, I think him and like I said, with Josh, yes, he's a fraud. But I just think it's so different. And I talked about it, I think 2 episodes ago, last episode, like his numbers and losses versus Lamar numbers and losses, like it. But when you talk about just being there in the biggest moments and winning the game, Josh is still a fraud because he hasn't done it yet. Sam Darnold did it. And I can't give him the title yet of being one of them ones. So I want to ask you a quick question real quick before we move on. If Sam Darnold goes on to win the Super Bowl and then wins Super Bowl MVP, is he a top 10 quarterback in the league? Rell, you first.
No, he's not a top 10 quarterback in the league, and this is the only reason why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give it to players who just did it in one season. I got to see it in 2 seasons. But Jerrick actually did say he had his best season last year. If one of y'all could pull up his stats from last year, and they're good,
I got you right here. I got you right here.
All right, let me hear the stats.
Last year he had 4,319 yards compared to 4,048 this year. He had 35 touchdowns last year compared to 25 this year. And he had 12 interceptions last year compared to 14 this year.
Jeez.
So he definitely had a better season last year.
Yeah, he had a great season last year.
Yeah, I'm going to give credit where it's due. If he goes out and wins the Super Bowl and wins Super Bowl MVP, definitely. I would definitely give him top 10 quarterback. Definitely.
Jerrick?
Why couldn't he be? If he goes out there, especially like we just said, if he wins Super Bowl MVP, which means he has another performance like he just did, why can't he be? I don't see why not. This is like I told y'all his numbers last year. This year he finished 5th in passing yards. That was for the postseason. I apologize. This year, regular season too, 5th in passing yards. Like he was top 10 in stats both years, and he goes on and wins Super Bowl MVP. I mean, didn't you just talk about how a guy in Jalen Hurts who just won Super Bowl MVP? People are saying he's not top 10. People are saying Justin Herbert's better than him. So if he wins Super Bowl MVP. Why can't we put him over Justin Herbert?
He is. I was about to say that.
Over CJ Stroud, over guys like that. He has to be over them. He's over Dak Prescott at that point. He's over Trevor Lawrence at that point. If he wins the Super Bowl MVP, wins Super Bowl, he's top 10. He has to be. You can't take that away from him.
I agree. I think he has to be top 10 because, and the people are going to say, this is the argument that made for Jay Hurts. Like, just because you win a Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP don't mean you're top 10. Don't mean you're that guy, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, what's the goal?
This is so hard to do. It's so hard to win. You play 17 games in a regular season, and then you go on. Jalen Hurts last year, he wasn't the number 1 seed, so he played 21 games?
Yes.
He played 21 games. Sam Darnold's about to play 20 games. A 20 and 21 game season. And at the end of all of that, you are on top. You are the guy that the rest of the league is looking to. How can you not give somebody credit for that, even if it's too much credit? Like, this is a Super Bowl we're talking about. We can't water down rings and championships. We can't do that.
But I know one thing. If that Seahawks defense go out there and shut down Drake May, and it looks like last year's Super Bowl, People better keep that same energy with Jay Hurts or with Sam Darnold. Have to do it with Jay Hurts. Because that's exactly what the argument is. Jay Hurts ain't have to do much in the Super Bowl and this, that, and the numbers say otherwise, but Mahomes couldn't do anything because the
But
defense
didn't he
clearly
also
won that game.
it wasn't like it's so different. For people that say that, didn't the Eagles come out there and off rip just jump on them offensively?
Off rip, both sides.
Off rip both sides. It's not like the Chiefs couldn't do anything in the beginning and then towards the end the Eagles came off rip and put up points. So even if the Eagles defense wasn't playing the way they were, the Eagles offense was still putting up points. But look, I don't know. People, like I said, if you're not somebody the media likes, if you're not one of the favorites, they're gonna find a way to not give you your credit. And that's what we live in today.
Oh, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yo, they feeling like in 7, leave a comment down below.